The power of his dream brings you here. His man, Sean Carlard.
Prioritize. Activity does not equal accomplishment. This is very important as a servant leader. Is sometimes just as people, we keep ourselves busy, but are we accomplishing anything? So what we need to do to prioritize, we need to keep the main thing the main thing. Plans change, but the goal stays the same. Keeping the main thing the main thing. Has that ever happened? And it works like this. You need a light and to see something, and you go to the cupboard to get the light. Then you notice that the batteries aren't really charged as much as they should do, even though what's there is enough to see what you need to see. But you feel you need to charge the batteries first, so you charge those batteries, and while you're charging them, you notice that there's a few other batteries that need to be charged, so you plug those in, but you notice that the plug at the end of the battery charger isn't really the 3-point that you're looking for, because you can't find an adapter for the 2-point. So you decide to change the plug from a 2-point to a 3-point, and you need to cut it off. But you also notice that when you cut it off the 3-point plug to put it on, your screwdriver isn't really working the way it's supposed to. So you take that into the workshop and you get a file to file it flat so you can actually get the screws out correctly. But you could have got them out anyway, but you just feel now's the time. And you thought, well, while you're there, you might as well just do the other screwdrivers. And you get your other screwdrivers, noticing that your chisels aren't working correctly. And then you take one of the chisels, it seems to be okay, and you start to chisel away at a piece of wood. And then you go, oh my gosh, this wood is so beautiful. I wonder how much other wood I've got. And then you go look for the other wood, and you find the wood, and then you see a bit of a tree stump, and you go, oh my gosh, this would make a beautiful sculpture. So then you go out into the garden and notice that your tree, which is now been hit by lightning, and that's where you got the tree stump from, has these beautiful branches lying around. So you think, why not take these branches and also make something out of them? But then you notice there's a whole lot of sticks and a little bit of extra wood, and you think, you know what? Why don't I just take them, put them on the braai, and have a little bit of a bonfire? It is winter and it's a bit cold. Then while you're having that bonfire, you think, you know what? I think we should have a braai. So you decide to have a braai, and then you go to the fridge and there's no meat. And then you think, you know what? I'm just going to pop down to the shop and go get myself some meat. Do you notice? Keep the main thing the main thing. Make an appointment with yourself. If you're going to go and clean the garage, give yourself an hour and just focus on that garage for an hour. I have constant conversations with people who will start off on one side, and the next second we're talking about something on the other side of the planet, and I'm going, how on earth did we get to the other side? One of the statements we also make, and it's part of training, when in the room, be in the room. When you are focused on an activity, stay focused. Now, plans do change, but remember, the goal stays the same. So if we go back, is what did we want to do? We wanted to see something that we could fix it, so we went to go get a light. And then the batteries were a little bit flat, not too flat. Then the story continues. Even though now your batteries are a little bit flat, what's the goal? And that was to go and use the light for something. Stay focused. It's one of the most important things. Activity does not equal accomplishment. Now, I want to just say one thing. I used to have this challenge in my life, or I was challenged by Howard on the rocks between Fishhook and St. James. We were walking there, and I was busy doing so much stuff. And he actually said to me, he said, you know what, Sean, sometimes we get so busy because we don't want to confront the things that need to be addressed in our life. So if we stay concentrated on one thing, and it goes wrong, people are going to go, oh, yeah, you couldn't get it right. But if you're running around doing so many things, you can't really complete anything, can you? Because you're so busy doing everything else. And if you have to complete it and it doesn't turn out that well, you can say, well, you know, I was so busy as a person. How do you expect me? So sometimes busyness stops us confronting the things that are heart-wrenching and life-changing, and we want to avoid them. So, being a servant leader, looking after yourself, you need to learn how to prioritize. Activity does not equal accomplishment.
The power of his dream brings you here. His man, Sean Carlard.